Good morning and welcome to this week's Fibro section. This week I'm coming to you from Holly's bedroom purely because my dad's still doing stuff to the studio in the garage, and which is a bit noisy, and it's good lighting in here, and I've got a nice net of lights backdrop here going on. So let's get out the trusted notepad. Right, so this week is going to be about how I cope daily. Would you believe it? The battery needs changing, so I'm going to go and do that first. Right, I'm back again. Let's just try again, shall we? So, how I cope daily. Living with fibromyalgia means making adjustments from work to parenting responsibilities to household chores to having fun. By taking a more active role in managing your condition, you may feel a sense of control and boost your self-esteem along with your quality of life. Sound good? I try to do a combination of lots of different things to help me manage the illness and cope with day-to-day living, and I'm going to go through a few of what I find is important for self-care. So this is research again, but I also put in what I believe. So first one is to de-stress. Sounds easier said than done, isn't it? Because stress is a massive one. But stress may trigger fibro symptoms. Well, it does trigger fibro symptoms. I'm not going to say it may, it does. Minimising stress can improve your quality of life. Some stress busters are yoga, exercise, sleep and meditation. Breathing deeply and exhaling slowly can also help. They say that when you breathe in, you have to breathe out longer than you breathe in, and that helps to calm the system. Ice cream, anyone? Fancy an ice cream? Thanks for that. I'm surprised Poppy's not come out. Right, ignore the ice cream van. Let's carry on. Shush! Right, so keep in mind activities that you enjoy or that make you feel better, because that's really important, to do things that make you feel good. Jot it down. So if fibro fog is affecting your focus or your memory, keep a pen and paper handy. The amount of lists I make is incredible, really. Make to-do lists and even to say lists to help you remember topics you need to talk about. My mum does that for me. She says, oh, I'll write it down, then I won't forget to tell you. Keep shopping lists, friends and important phone numbers and addresses in a notebook to carry with you, so then you've always got them, so you don't have to think, like, especially I find, you know, pin numbers or things that I would normally remember. I've got a classic story for you, actually. This is a classic case of fibro fog. I took my car to be something to have done on it, and because I was on my own, Mark wasn't with me, and I went in and he said, what car is yours? And I went completely blank. I know I've got an S-Max, but I was like, it's a silver one. Because I couldn't remember the name of it, you know, and things like that. So I suppose if you know you're going to a garage in the future, I can write down either in my phone or on a piece of paper S-Max, so that if I have that, then, I mean, you don't always know when you're going to have the fibro fog, so you can't always be prepared, but you could try and be prepared as possible, I guess. Exercise regularly. Regular low intensity exercise such as walking or warm water exercise is a great daily activity. It helps decrease pain and stiffness when done moderately, and may increase your sense of control over fibromyalgia, and you may also sleep better, so it's a bonus, really, isn't it? Talk to your GP for a good exercise program for you. And also, if you haven't checked out, I made a video about exercise, so I will leave that in a link above and in the description below so that you can check that out after this video. Do some serious soaking. Oh, the ice cream van's going to go off again, hang on. Bye. No, it didn't jingle. Soaking in a warm bath or hot tub can relax tense muscles, reduce pain and help you move more easily. If you don't have a bath, like I haven't, or it's difficult to get in and out of the bath, try putting a seat in your shower, which I have, and let the water fall over you, or try a sauna. Moist heat may increase endorphins, which is the body's natural painkiller. So I don't know how many of you know that, but your endorphins in your body are its own painkiller. So you want to release as many as possible, which is why it's good to do things you enjoy, to laugh, to sing, to do all those things that will release those endorphins. Reach for decaf. Caffeine may compound stress both physically and psychologically. It stimulates the heart and central nervous system and can increase nervousness, anxiety and insomnia. Watch out for caffeine in chocolate, coffee, some soft drink and teas. I don't have caffeine anymore, and I found when I came off caffeine I had the worst headaches possible, so best to avoid it really. Take some me time every day. Fibromyalgia can pose unique health challenges and make life complicated. So take time for yourself every day. Every day. We have plenty of time to do things that we enjoy doing. So do it. That's unless you have to work, obviously. Lose yourself in a hobby. Put on some music, rest, whatever makes you feel good. It may bring more balance to your life, help you fight stress and boost your energy for the things you need to do. So if I find, like during the day, like today I'm having a really bad fatigue day, and I think it's because I did a workout this morning and I hadn't worked out for a while because of being ill. So that has really affected it's taken all my spoons. Right, let me just go and say bye to my dad. We've got a guest. Eve, you coming to join the Fibro section? Oh yeah? Right, okay. Third time lucky. I've said bye to Dad. So where were we? Make work life better. Is work leaving you exhausted and in pain? Design a flexible plan that works for you and your boss. Ask about working from home or part-time where possible. Or try and work hours that are your better ones, like earlier is better than later for me. And if you can't work, like I can't at the moment, which is really frustrating because I want to work, then you can apply for PIP, and I've made a video on that too, so I will link that above and in the description. Rearrange your workspace for comfort and easy accessibility. When I worked in a school, the head teacher there bought me a swivel chair. So that was great because I could walk around holding on to it, because I wasn't allowed to use my walking stick in case it was a health and safety thing. Talk about it. Fibromyalgia puts stress on you and those around you. Communication is critical. Don't try to always put on a happy face. So, classic example of this was yesterday. I went out with Poppy and everything was great, but it sort of used a lot of spoons, and I found in the afternoon my energy levels were like on a 0, and I still had so much to do. So instead of just putting on a happy face and getting on with it, I asked Poppy's help, and Poppy helped me, and she did all the jobs that I needed to do. She took Evie out, she did the dishwasher, she watered the plants, and it was because I communicated how I was feeling. And it's really important that you do that and not just try and hide it all. So your loved ones need to know what makes your symptoms worse. They really need to know that. Plan talks for your best time of the day. Try focusing on one issue and look for solutions, and don't be afraid to ask for help from friends and family. It's really important. Now this one says, that I've researched, said just say no. So this is all about saying no, and for me, I'm quite, well, I like to encourage people on this channel to say yes and not no, because I think the more we say no, the more we turn down the opportunity to do things that could release endorphins, that could help with that pain and make us happy and give us a better quality of life. But I think that by this just saying no, they're meaning if people are asking you to do things, so, oh, can you just, you know, make this for me, or can you just walk the dog, or can you just do this? Those sort of things, yes, I agree that we can't do all that. So because fibro is an invisible illness, you can look fine but feel bad. People may forget that you need to prioritise and pace yourself. Like I have said, I try not to say no to an invite, but I do make sure people are aware I might have to cancel depending on the day and how I am. It is important not to take too much on and cause a flare or make yourself feel worse, but don't be scared to accept invites either. That's really important. I know a lot of people think, oh, if I go out now, I might be paying for it for the next week. But how do you know? Because why don't you just give it a go? Give it a try. And you might not. I've done that so many times and think, the classic one was when we moved into the bungalow, and I thought, I didn't stop, literally. I did not stop. For about a week, I reckon, I was packing, unpacking, putting things away, putting things... I think the reason I didn't crash was because I ran on adrenaline. I was so into it and so excited about it all that the adrenaline just took me through it. So even though I would have crashed on a normal level, I don't think I did because of the adrenaline. And so that's a classic example of me thinking, I'm going to have a flare up, I'm going to be flaring for weeks after this, and I didn't. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you have a flare and you don't even predict it, you know? Like when we went to the beach hut the other week on my weekly video, and I didn't have my walker, or my scooter rather, so I had to walk, and that caused me a massive flare up. And I didn't even predict it. So, you know, it's very much suck it and see, you know? But just try not to say no to too much, because too many invitations, I mean. But obviously you can't go out every night, or you can't go out every day. I get that, you have to pace that out. But I don't get invites for every day or every night. You know, the invitations I do get, I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see how we can work on that. Make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. If you're not getting enough rest, set the mood in your bedroom for sleep. Keep the room dark, quiet and cool and distraction free. Keep regular sleep hours. It recommends banning any screens, but for me, I can only sleep after watching YouTube. I have to watch YouTube until I'm virtually falling asleep, and then I turn it off. But reading and listening to music before you go to bed is really good too. Keep a daily journal. I say this, I think, in every single one of my fibro sections, but it's so true. Keeping track of events, activities, symptoms and mood changes can help you take charge of fibromyalgia. It may make you aware of when symptoms start, and over time what may be triggering them. Then you can work to eliminate triggers or learn coping strategies to lessen their impact. I keep a journal every night, as I've said before in all my other videos, and I write down what I've done during the day and how I felt, any feelings. I just think it gets it all out and onto paper. But I think it's a really good idea to track symptoms too. So keep a separate journal, even if it's just a notebook like this, and just write down the date and what, like whether you had a flare up, or whether you had bad pain, or whether you had, and then you can see what you were doing whether it was stress, whether it was physical activity that caused it, and try and work on how to improve it. Pain is a given for nearly everyone with fibromyalgia, so are fatigue and brain fog. While those symptoms can be challenging, you don't have to put your life on hold because of them. I cope day to day by doing a mixture of all these things, listening to my body and taking each day at a time. Every day is different. Would you agree with that? Every day is different. I very rarely wake up and think I feel exactly the same today as I did yesterday. Very rarely. It's different every day. So look at each day as a new day and work out how you're best to cope with how you're feeling for that day. I try to make the best out of each one, as you will see in my weekly vlogs if you watch them. Even flare-up days, I try to do things that I love doing and a few things in between resting, because moving is so important. I know when I was ill with a bladder infection, and I said on Twitter and other places, I'm not going to lay still all day because it will make my fibro so much worse. So it's just getting up and moving around. I got up out of bed and I walked into the garden and I just walked around looking at the plants. And just that movement was enough to stop my fibro playing up because of laying still. So any ideas or things that you do on a day-to-day basis, comment down below and let us know that I haven't mentioned yet. It would be really interesting to see the coping strategies that you have. But like I say, I tend to take each day at a time, take each thing on as it comes, and do a combination of all those things that I've just mentioned. And I was going to go through like a general day, but what is a general day? Because I don't ever have one day the same, so I can't really go through that. I mean, for example, if I do an exercise workout, which is my jazzercise, I will get up at 9 AM. So I wake up about anywhere between 7 and 8, make a cup of tea, go back to bed, look at my phone, social media, watch a bit of telly until 9. Then I get up and have a wash. All the time you're assessing how your body feels. Do my workout, have a shower, then I have to rest because then I'm beat. So rest after that, and then what I also do is going back to the lists, I write lists of maybe about 2 or 3 things that I really want to get done that day, and so I can rest, do one of the things, rest, do one of the things. But it's really important to rest in between, and if you feel I don't feel fully rested, rest some more and then get onto it. You've got to listen to what your body needs, because there's no point fighting against it. You're going to fight a losing battle, really. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week of how I cope daily. Any questions, any comments, put down below. I love you all lots, and I'll see you all on Saturday for the weekly. Bye!